just getting a range. Okay. So the lid of the tagine, like I said, is a closed form cone that has no bottom. So whatever you open this donut to, that's the rim or the gallery of the bowl, depending on which one you make first. You can make either one first. A lot of traditional tagines are actually made where they just make tons of bottoms, they make tons of tops, and everything is trimmed to fit later. So I'm gonna go not super low and wide with this, but I'm gonna go straight down until I see the wheel head. So I'm leading in to the bottom. And then when I open this form, I have to make sure there's a considerable amount of force pushing down, because like this being lifted off when I throw the bowl, you can rip this off the back. It will detach from the back. So you do need to push down, because what I'm doing is I'm getting this clay to attach before I move this clay over. So it's kind of like a up the line, but it happens a little bit more smoothly. So my finger is right down underneath, down in here, where the floor meets the wall. So you can see inside there, right down in here. And I'm going to hold this ring, the donut, like this, and push down with my right hand as I go. My outer finger is actually holding up here, because we know if we push on this corner that it widens the clay down there, right? It's the same principle as when we push on that top corner and the bottom grows when we're centering. It's the exact same thing. So I'm pushing down and in. Ta-da. And it's still attached. Hallelujah. That's all a function of pulling out and pressing down. So now I'm just gonna recenter this. So basically it's just about kind of, it's like a rim I'm recentering. I've got, my interior is at about 6.5. All right, well, I'll make the bottom of the tissue 6.5 then. So now I'm gonna start pushing, and this is very similar to how I was going to lift and open the bowl, except it goes this way. Instead of having the exterior hand put the pressure and lift, it's my thumb, it's my finger underneath that's gonna tuck in down here, and my thumb is gonna push up on top, and I'm just gonna push in. See that? So I'm holding the clay like this, where I'm pushing into the wall up here and supporting underneath the wall here. Gonna go reach back to the bottom and do that again.
How much of a hole do you leave for the top?
You don't leave a hole, you close it.
Oh.
Before it gets too, I'm gonna throw it like normal, but not quite normal, because I'm going to be pushing in quite hard. So usually we don't think about this until we're shaping the pot. But remember, when you want to go wider or narrower, that's the hand that's lower. So I want to go narrower, so my interior fingers are going to be lower than my exterior fingers as I push. So like that's my finger down there, and my outside hand is here. My outside hand is pushing in. That lump is my interior fingers holding the wall up as I push. See that? And that's what stops it from, that's what changes the direction of the wall. Instead of being like this, it's gonna stay like this. So before I get too far and close the form, I wanna dry up the inside, because it's the floor of the pot and I'm about to make a closed form. So here we are. I'm just gonna straighten this out a bit. I wanna make sure this is a nice cone, because remember how the tagine works, that the water comes up to that top and then it drips back down the sides to gently rehydrate your delicious stewing foods. And they are more roughly thrown, which I kind of find romantic. You can really,
like a thing to hold it in?
you're throwing it in.
Oh.
So now I'm gonna collar. Remember, collaring requires a lot of wetness. You're gonna make the triangle in your hands and start gently squeezing the cone together. After I run up the wall, I'm gonna go back down. I'm gonna do a pull, gentle pull, but my collar will get taller at my, the area that I start collaring will get higher up the form every time, because this is done. This is as wide as it's gonna be. So now instead of starting here, I'm gonna start here because I really wanna close the form. And so as it gets smaller, my triangle shrinks, right? Just like that, comes together. Let me put a little bit of ribbing action because I got this baby really wet. Ooh. Remember that collaring is a form of compression. What you're doing is wrinkling the clay, so it's gonna get uneven. It's gonna technically throw it off center. So your rim is always gonna look worse and worse the more you collar. But it does fatten it up, so you can throw that center back into it, right? And lengthen it, give it a little more elegance. So at this point, I'm gonna just do the neck. Let me do a little bit, I wanna do one more pull. I leave all of this here until I'm ready to throw it as the knob. So I'm gonna slowly just close this little baby. Now that it's this narrow, you might need like a stick or a tool to put inside. Here's my needle tool. I like to throw this, I just usually do it against my needle tool, but a wooden tool will work. I'm just compressing because otherwise I'm gonna twist it. Still lifting the clay into that space until I close it. I don't want to make it too thin. Ooh, she's fragile. But basically, oops, I'm just going to trim off this top, and this is the knob. So you throw the finial. Oh, I just twisted it. Look what I did. Oh well. Well, I'm going to have to add a finial to it. Look what I did. That's okay. I can actually make it so much shorter if I don't put my hair in it. All right, so let me close this. Then I can just compress this and actually throw a finial into it like this. See that? There's air trapped inside now, so you can push on it kind of hard. There she is. Knob. And that's the top of it. So obviously you're gonna open this to the point at which your bottom was open and then start pulling this up. I'm clearly making a little tagine, but because this I think is only 6 inches. But then from here, I don't want to cut it yet. I am going to just clean it a bit. I can push on the outside, take some of this slip off. And then when I go to cut it, I don't wire it because I'm gonna pull the wall. So I cut it with my needle tool, just like this. So you hold it parallel to the wheel and you slowly go in, and then you just wait for it to go through. And then I will pick this up and finish cleaning it when it's firmer. What I'll probably do before I actually lift it, I mean, it depends how firm this top gets, right? If it does get firm, I can pick it up. I can also do this needle tool action again. But what I usually do is I put a chuck on it and then I flip it. And then that way I'm not actually picking it up by this very fragile area. But yeah, tagine. And then the tagine for the bottom of the tagine is this, but taller. So you could, it's narrower than this.
Does it help cast this?
So basically it sits where the gallery, this stair step, is right here. And that's how the tagine traditionally is. But you know, make it how you want to. I do think that having that nice rim outside the gallery in case things are bubbling is useful because then it doesn't spill down and land on the bottom of your oven. I do like putting tagines directly on the baker's rack, the rack in the oven, but you know, people also sometimes put it on a cookie sheet or a stone, like a pizza